These talks are brought to you by Claritax Books and are proudly sponsored by 6 Forward Capital Allowances.
Welcome back to our series of talks on capital allowances. In the past couple of videos, we've seen that the definition of plant is very wide, but that allowances are not normally available for the premises or setting within which the business is carried on. This is a good moment to restate, however, that all the case law discussions about the meaning of plant are secondary to the statutory restrictions at sections 21 and 22 of the Capital Allowances Act. In my view, though, HMRC have at times misunderstood the way that part of the legislation works, and I'll illustrate this with the treatment of a painting on the wall of an accountant's office. In the Capital Allowances Manual at CA 21130, HMRC say that decorative assets are likely to be caught by sections 21 or 22, which, as we have seen, restrict allowances for buildings and structures respectively. HMRC then acknowledge that this is subject to item 14 of List C, which disapplies the restrictions for decorative assets provided for the enjoyment of the public in hotel, restaurant or similar trades. So far, so good, but immediately after this, the HMRC guidance goes on to say, for example, a painting on an accountant's office wall that is owned by the accountant is not plant because selling atmosphere is not part of an accountant's business. And this is where I part company with HMRC's line of reasoning. The relieving provisions of Section 23 are only needed if the asset in question forms part of the premises in the first place. The picture hanging on the accountant's wall is clearly not a structure and is therefore not caught by Section 22. Nor is a picture within List A at Section 21, which includes such items as walls, floors and main services. So it will only be caught by Section 21 if the picture is incorporated in the building, or of a kind normally incorporated in a building. For a picture that is simply hanging in a particular place, that can be moved around at the whim of the owner without having to involve any structural work on the building, it seems quite wrong to say that it is incorporated in the building. For this reason, it also seems wrong to deny it the status of plant or machinery. In the ironic words of Lord Lowry in Scottish and Newcastle, one might as well say that the tools and jigs of a wartime factory were part of the plant, but that the apparatus used to convey music while you work to those employed was not. In such a case, it is therefore necessary to fall back on first principles as to what constitutes plant. As we saw a couple of weeks ago, the classic definition from Yarmouth v. France holds that the term plant includes all goods and chattels, fixed or movable, live or dead, where these are kept for permanent employment in the business. Now, HMRC may argue that the pictures are part of the setting, and that they therefore fail to qualify as plant on general case law principles. But here it's worth recalling more of what Lord Lowry had to say in Scottish and Newcastle, namely that it is fallacious to say that articles used to adorn the setting thereby cease to be apparatus used by the taxpayers for carrying on their business. So, in my view, HMRC reach the wrong conclusion on the treatment of such paintings, and they certainly appear to be applying the wrong test. The painting is not a fixture, and the provisions of sections 21 to 23 have no relevance. Next week, we'll take a look at the treatment of professional costs and of the general overheads of a larger project. Thank you for watching. I'm Ray Chidell, author of Capital Allowances and of the A to Z of Plant and Machinery from Claritax Books. This talk was sponsored by 6 Forward, an independent property tax consultancy working with accountants to enhance capital allowances for their clients.